I often feel that I'm being burned at the stake just because I've always refused to give up that wonderful, strange power I have inside of me that becomes manifested when I'm in harmonious communication with some other inspired being. That's from Leonora Carrington from the Hearing Trumpet. She was an incredible, freaky, surrealistic artist. Actually, they say that she was the artist's artist, a hidden gem. Only she had so many visits to the insane asylum that she never really got her glory. But I thought that was beautiful. There's another quote from Jung where he talks about in the book Catafalque by Peter Kingsley, and Kingsley speaks of him, and there's a quote about him that says, he only had use for people when they were lit up by that creative or daimonic force. That's all he was interested in, was encountering people in that place of the most pure intimacy that occurs when that force is active in someone. And so as a lot of these talks are aimed to imagine a new world, because it feels like we've been circling the drain about why the old world doesn't work so much. Yeah, and so and there can be a fixation on the problem and what's wrong, and then the mind is so exhausted it can't pull out into the vision of the new place. So what I do different versions. I've done a political party, a vision for a different political party. We have a vision for unconditional freedom in the prisons. We have a vision for food. We have a vision for women. We have a vision for marginalized peoples and through Black Box. And today's is just part of a vision for women. And that's usually my focus, because I do believe the Dalai Lama that it will be, he said Western woman, I think it will be woman that saves the world and those who love us. And that's when we're in this fundamental stage of disequilibrium in the world, and I just think it's a transfer of power, and so the transfer isn't going extraordinarily well, but I think that the outcome will be truly lovely if we can just stay the course. And it's really hard to stay the course because it's a gut level course. It's not a world of appearances. Everything looks insane right now, and you really have to keep your eye on the fact that this emergence is happening. So all of the chaos that we perceive is a result of something breaking through our known reality. And so to keep your eye on what's breaking through, not everything that's broken, is the idea. So for women. And then I spoke some about women last time. So the idea is, we all have an identity platform. That's how I think of it. And anybody who's done psychedelics knows the experience of being very far out there and then getting yanked back, or anybody in an OM, we're very far out there, yanked back. Or I was just saying, I watched these I don't know if they're documentaries, but on near-death experiences. And the template is the same. I left my body, I went out there, oh, glory of glories, freedom of freedoms. I realized that this is the meaning of everything that came before. I finally made it home. And then they get told, you're not done with Earth yet. And then they get plunked back in their bodies, and then they live in grief for a period of time. And then they carry out what they were told to carry out when they had their near-death experience. So that is the mystical cycle. The mystical cycle is to, in some way, hopefully with a tether that doesn't yank you back, but with a tether, exit this particular physical dimension, go to another location where there's pure consciousness and clarity of your life purpose. Those moments of like, oh, this is what it means, where it's italicized, where everything is italicized, where you're like eating a piece of fruit and it's like, this is fruit. You can tell that that's a psychedelics version of life. And so it's to go out there and have that meaning rich experience, and then to come back and to translate on the spot, and to understand that it can be frustrating trying to communicate something profound and beautiful and rich that that you've experienced, that actually would nourish people